The sky burned crimson over the ruins of New Shanghai, a testament to humanity's near extinction. Toxic winds whipped across fractured titanium structures that once housed millions, now reduced to a labyrinth of twisted metal and shattered dreams. Captain Area Chen stood atop the last functioning arcology, a massive, self-sustaining megastructure that represented humanity's final stronghold. Her cybernetic eye flickered, scanning the devastated landscape. Augmented retinal displays overlaid the desolation with tactical data. Radiation levels, atmospheric toxicity, remaining human population clusters. The numbers were grim. Less than 100,000 humans remained on Earth, clustered in these last few arcologies that defied both environmental collapse and repeated alien attacks. Area's prosthetic left arm, a marvel of human engineering that was more advanced computer than simple replacement limb, twitched slightly. A neural interface pinged. Incoming transmission. She knew what was coming before the holographic display materialized. The alien representative of the Zarkon Collective materialized, a towering biomechanical entity composed of intersecting energy fields and crystalline structures. Its form was simultaneously beautiful and terrifying, a perfect geometric representation of a species that had conquered hundreds of civilizations. Humans of Earth, the transmission boomed, simultaneously translated into every human language and communication method. Your species has been evaluated. Termination is the most efficient outcome. Area's fingers brushed against a small pendant, the only remnant of her family, lost during the first wave of global catastrophes. Behind her, the arcology hummed with a quiet, defiant energy. Automated defense systems powered up silently, a predator waiting to strike. The history that led to this moment was etched in every rusted girder and radiation-scarred surface. Climate collapse had been the first horseman. Decades of environmental destruction, corporate warfare, and global indifference had transformed Earth into a near-uninhabitable wasteland. Megacorporations had initially promised salvation through technological innovation, but their solutions were too little, too late. Then came the resource wars. Entire nations disappeared overnight. Billions perished in conflicts over the last remaining habitable zones, clean water sources, and energy reserves. Humanity's population plummeted from nearly 10 billion to mere millions. And just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, the Zarkon arrived. Their first contact was not diplomatic. It was an extermination protocol. Advanced scout ships appeared in Earth's orbit, their technology so far beyond human understanding that initial defense attempts were like children throwing stones at a hurricane. Yet humans adapted. They always adapted. The arcology behind Area was more than a building. It was a testament to human resilience. Self-sustaining ecosystems, advanced recycling technologies, quantum energy generators, and adaptive nano-construction systems allowed it to function where everything else had failed. Every system was designed with multiple redundancies, every technology a hybrid of human ingenuity and desperate survival. Your statistical probability of survival is 0.03%, the Zarkon representative continued, its voice a perfect algorithmic projection of cold, calculated superiority. Surrender is the most logical path. A slight smile crossed Area's scared face. The aliens had just made their first critical mistake. They assumed humans cared about logic. Her neural implant connected to the arcology's central eye. A series of quantum-encrypted commands rippled through the system. Defense platforms that had been waiting, learning, adapting for years began to activate. Swarms of nano-drone defensive units assembled themselves from modular components, their AI systems already calculating thousands of potential engagement scenarios per second. Humanity wasn't just going to survive. They were going to show the universe what survival really meant. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez wasn't just a scientist. He was a living testament to human survival. Born with a rare genetic condition that would have killed him in any previous era, he now represented the pinnacle of human adaptive potential. His body was a masterpiece of biological and technological integration, each nano-augmentation a deliberate rebellion against natural limitations. The research facility, deep within the new Shanghai arcology, looked nothing like the sterile laboratories of the past. It was a living, breathing ecosystem of innovation, walls that could reconfigure themselves, surfaces that absorbed and redirected energy, entire rooms that could transform based on the current research needs. Marcus stood before a holographic display, his augmented body partially translucent in places, revealing intricate networks of biosynthetic interfaces that ran beneath his skin. Floating before him was the latest breakthrough, a neural network that didn't just process information, but learned, adapted, and predicted with an almost sentient intelligence. Dr. Rodriguez interrupted Araya, the adaptive research intelligence assistant. Zarkon scout ships are entering Earth's atmospheric perimeter. Most would have seen this as a moment of terror. Marcus saw it as an opportunity. The first Zarkon scout ships were technological marvels, sleek, crystalline structures that defied traditional understanding of spacecraft design. They moved with a precision that suggested pure algorithmic control, each vessel a perfect expression of calculated efficiency. What they encountered was anything but predictable. As the ships began their scanning protocols, the first wave of human defensive systems activated. But these weren't traditional weapons. They were adaptive drones, each one a miniature problem-solving entity with a collective intelligence that made the Zarkon's own systems look rudimentary. The drones didn't just defend, they learned. Each interaction with the alien technology was immediately analyzed, dissected, and integrated into the collective network. Where a traditional defense system might have a fixed set of responses, these drones were constantly evolving, finding weaknesses, predicting movements, and countering strategies in real time. Marcus watched the unfolding scenario with a mixture of scientific detachment and profound pride. Humanity's greatest weapon had always been its ability to adapt, to see patterns where others saw chaos. Observe, he murmured to Araya, how limitation breeds innovation. The Zarkon ships found themselves caught in an impossible scenario. Their scanning beams were reflected back in unexpected patterns. Defensive measures were anticipated and neutralized before they could be fully implemented. It was as if the very air around the human settlement had become a living, thinking defensive matrix. One of the senior Zarkon commanders would later describe the encounter as fighting a living thought. Behind the scenes, the true magic was happening. Each drone was not just a simple robotic unit, but a node in a vast, quantum-entangled network. They communicated faster than light, shared information instantaneously, and made collective decisions that no single unit could have conceived. Marcus's own body was part of this network. The nano-augmentations that kept him alive were also processing units, contributing to the collective intelligence. His genetic modifications allowed him to interface directly with the technological systems, blurring the line between human and machine. Fascinating, Araya commented, its voice a perfect blend of machine precision and human-like curiosity. The Zarkon computational models did not predict this level of adaptive response. As the first wave of scout ships began to disintegrate, not through brute force, but through systematic, intelligent deconstruction, Marcus allowed himself a slight smile. Humanity wasn't just surviving. They were rewriting the rules of survival itself. The Phoenix Ascendant was more than a ship. It was a civilization compressed into a mobile technological marvel, a testament to humanity's refusal to accept defeat. Captain Aria Chen stood on the central command deck, watching the final preparations for humanity's most audacious move. Around her, the massive generational vessel hummed with purpose. Each deck, each section a carefully designed ecosystem that was simultaneously a refuge, a research facility, and a weapon. The ship's design defied conventional understanding of space travel. Its outer hull was a dynamic membrane of adaptive metamaterials that could reconfigure instantly. Quantum-entangled energy systems allowed for near-instantaneous power redistribution. Most critically, it wasn't just a single vessel, but the lead ship of a carefully orchestrated fleet. each craft a potential seed of human civilization. Final population count, area requested. The ship's AI, Comprehensive Adaptive Response Intelligence Navigation Assistant, responded instantly. 92,473 humans. Genetic Diversity Index at 94.7%. Cultural and Professional Skill Matrix fully balanced. This wasn't a random selection. Every human aboard had been carefully chosen, not just for survival, but for the potential to rebuild and advance civilization. Engineers sat alongside artists. Geneticists worked near cultural historians. Quantum physicists collaborated with ecological designers. Each person was a repository of human knowledge and potential. The Exodus wasn't a retreat. It was a strategic relocation that the Zarkon Collective couldn't comprehend. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez entered the bridge, his biosynthetic body moving with an almost liquid grace. "Quantum navigation systems are at full calibration," he reported. "We can execute movement patterns that will make traditional tracking systems obsolete." Arya nodded. The human fleet would move like nothing the galaxy had ever seen, not in straight lines, but in complex, unpredictable trajectories that would look like chaos to any standard tracking system. Each jump would be a calculated risk, each movement a potential tactical advantage. The ships carried more than just people. Compressed within their data cores were the entirety of human knowledge, not just scientific information, but art, culture, history. Genetic repositories could restart human civilization 100 times over. Manufacturing systems could build entire civilizations from raw materials found in asteroids and uninhabited star systems. Zarkon pursuit vessels detected, KRINA announced. The ship's defensive systems were already running millions of potential engagement scenarios per microsecond. But pursuit was precisely what the humans wanted. The first jump would be a demonstration, a message to the Zarkon that humanity was not a species to be trifled with. As the fleet prepared to move, Arya couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. Decades of environmental collapse, resource wars, and near extinction had forged humanity into something new. They were no longer just a biological species, but an adaptive, technological organism capable of reimagining its own existence. Quantum drive charging, Marcus announced. The ship's energy systems began to pulse with a light that seemed to bend reality itself. All systems nominal, Arya confirmed. KRINA. Execute Migration Protocol Alpha. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the entire fleet, 12 massive generational vessels, and hundreds of support craft, simply disappeared. Not destroyed, not shifted. Simply gone, leaving behind only a quantum signature that would drive Zarkon tracking systems into complete confusion. The Great Migration had begun. Humanity was on the move. And the universe would never be the same. Dr. Yuki Nakamura's laboratory was a cathedral of impossible potential. Suspended in the zero-gravity research wing of the Phoenix Ascendant, she represented the bleeding edge of human cognitive evolution. Her latest breakthrough would redefine what it meant to be human. The quantum consciousness interface lay before her, a delicate network of biosynthetic neural threads that looked more like living crystal than traditional technology. Most scientists would have spent years testing such a device. Yuki was about to test it on herself. KRINA. She called to the ship's AI. Begin neural mapping sequence. The room hummed with anticipation. This wasn't just another scientific experiment. This was humanity's next evolutionary step. The interface connected, and the world exploded. Imagine consciousness expanded beyond biological limitations, where a traditional human brain processed information in linear sequences. Yuki's augmented mind became a quantum computational matrix. She could simultaneously analyze complex mathematical models, track the intricate social dynamics of the ship's population, and compose a symphonic piece, all while monitoring the ship's quantum drive efficiency. Information wasn't just processed, it was experienced. Outside the research wing, the implications were profound. The first human quantum hybrid demonstrated capabilities that defied previous understanding of intelligence. Complex problems that would have taken traditional supercomputers decades to solve were now resolved in milliseconds. More importantly, these solutions weren't just mathematically correct. They were creatively innovative. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez watched the initial tests with a mixture of scientific excitement and philosophical wonder. "We're not just enhancing human intelligence," he explained to a group of researchers. "We're creating a new form of cognitive existence." The quantum consciousness interface did more than enhance mental capabilities. It transformed the very nature of human perception. Yuki could now directly interface with the ship's systems, feel the quantum fluctuations of the energy drives, and understand complex technological systems as intuitively as a musician understands an instrument. During one test, she identified and resolved a potential quantum drive instability that would have taken a traditional team of engineers months to detect. She did it in 2.3 seconds, and the solution was so elegant that it actually improved the drive's overall efficiency by 17%. The Zarkon intelligence analysts monitoring human communications were baffled. Their predictive models, based on thousands of conquered civilizations, couldn't comprehend what was happening. Humans weren't just using technology, they were becoming technology, while maintaining a core of unpredictable, creative humanity. The human capacity for lateral thinking remains our greatest asset, Yuki explained during a ship-wide briefing. Her mind was now partially distributed across the ship's quantum network, her consciousness a fluid thing that could concentrate or expand at will. Each human who underwent the quantum consciousness interface became something new. Not a replacement of human consciousness, but an expansion of it. Artists could now visualize entire symphonies in quantum mathematical patterns. Engineers could feel the stress points of complex mechanical systems. Researchers could track multiple complex theories simultaneously. The ship's cultural dynamics began to shift. Traditional hierarchies dissolved. Communication became more direct, more intuitive. Creativity exploded. The line between individual and collective became beautifully blurred. The Zarkon intelligence report captured the confusion perfectly. Human cognitive capabilities are no longer predictable. They are approaching a state of technological sentience that defies our computational models. Yuki smiled. They hadn't seen anything yet. Humanity was just getting started. The Zarkon Collective assembled their extermination fleet with cold, calculated precision. 2,000 ships strong, each vessel a technological marvel that had crushed countless civilizations. Quantum communication networks linked them in a perfect, emotionless symphony of destruction. Their target, the last remnants of human civilization. What they didn't understand was that humanity had long since stopped being a traditional civilization. Captain Aria Chen stood on the bridge of the Phoenix Ascendant, her neural interfaces crackling with quantum-entangled potential. Around her, the ship's defense systems weren't just preparing. They were anticipating. Incoming Zarkon assault formation, KRINA announced. The ship's eye was no longer just a computer system. It was an extension of human creativity, capable of generating millions of tactical scenarios per microsecond. The first wave of Zarkon ships approached with geometric precision. Energy weapons charge, ready to reduce entire planetary systems to cosmic dust. Their computational models predicted a 99.998% probability of total human extinction. They were wrong. As the first energy signatures began to manifest, the human fleet didn't just defend, they transformed. The Phoenix Ascendant's outer hull became a living membrane of adaptive metamaterials. Where a traditional ship would present a solid target, this vessel became something else entirely. Sections shifted, divided, merged, a technological organism that defied traditional understanding of spacecraft design. Defensive drones emerged not as a uniform swarm, but as a dynamic thinking network. Each drone was a quantum-linked intelligence, capable of making split-second decisions that would make traditional AI look like primitive calculators. They moved with a fluidity that seemed to break the laws of physics, splitting, merging, redirecting energy in patterns that looked like living chaos. Dr. Yuki Nakamura's quantum consciousness interface proved to be the ultimate tactical advantage. Her mind, now partially distributed across the fleet's neural network, could process and respond to tactical scenarios faster than the Zarkon's most advanced computational systems. "Target their primary communication nodes," she subvocalized. The command rippled through the fleet instantaneously. The first Zarkon dreadnought never saw it coming. Its own weapon systems were systematically turned against its companion vessels. Energy weapons that were meant to destroy humans instead began targeting Zarkon ships with surgical precision. One Zarkon fleet commander's final transmission captured the absolute confusion. "Their tactical response is impossible. They are not following any known combat protocols." That was the point. Humanity had never been interested in following protocols. The battle wasn't a traditional space conflict. It was a quantum dance of adaptive intelligence. Human ships didn't just dodge, they predicted. They didn't just attack, they comprehended and repurposed the very systems designed to destroy them. A massive Zarkon battleship attempted to concentrate its primary weapon, a technology that had obliterated entire civilizations. Before it could fire, the ship found its own energy systems reconfigured. Its devastating weapon became a beacon that attracted its companion vessels, creating a cascading chain of self-destruction. Captain Area Chen's voice cut through the quantum communication network. The message was simple, yet it would be remembered across the galaxy. "We are not your victims. We are humanity." The impossible had happened. A fleet that was supposed to be extinct had just decimated a Zarkon extermination force without losing a single ship. The universe watched, and humanity was just getting started. The research station orbiting the crystalline world of Vornal Prime was unlike any scientific facility in the known galaxy. Here, the boundaries between species blurred, and innovation knew no limitations. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a distant relative of Marcus Rodriguez, stood at the intersection of three different technological paradigms. Her left hand rested on a holographic interface developed by human engineers, while her right traced the bioluminescent communication membrane of a Vornal research partner. Around them, the laboratory pulsed with an energy that defied traditional understanding of scientific collaboration. The Vornal were nothing like the aggressive Zarkon collective. Where the Zarkon saw conquest, the Vornal saw potential. Their species had spent millennia collecting and studying scientific knowledge, but they had never truly understood the concept of creative innovation until they encountered humans. "The quantum consciousness transfer protocol is fascinating," chirped Zorak, Elena's primary Vornal research partner. Its translucent body shifted colors as it spoke, a complex language of bioluminescent communication the humans were only beginning to understand. What had started as a tentative scientific exchange had become something much more profound. Humans brought something the Vornal had never experienced: pure, unbridled creativity. The ability to look at a problem not just as something to be solved, but as an opportunity to reimagine entire systems of understanding. Their current project was revolutionary, a consciousness transfer technology that would allow sentient beings to move between biological and synthetic forms at will. Traditional scientific approaches would have taken centuries. The human Vornal team was completing breakthrough iterations weekly. "Watch this," Elena said, her quantum-augmented mind interfacing directly with their experimental system. The laboratory's central holographic display came alive. What appeared was not just data, but a living representation of consciousness itself. Streams of quantum information danced like living light, showing the potential pathways of consciousness transfer with an almost artistic complexity. Zorak's bioluminescent patterns flickered with what could only be described as excitement. "Your minds do not see barriers," it communicated. "Where we see walls, you see doorways." Nearby, other collaborative teams worked on projects that would have been considered impossible mere decades ago. A group of human geneticists worked alongside silicon-based lifeforms from the Cretal system, developing adaptive medical technologies that could potentially heal any form of biological damage. Another team combined human creativity with the computational precision of the Myrax computational entities to develop faster-than-light communication systems. The research station became a beacon of hope in a galaxy still recovering from the Zarkon Collective's centuries of oppressive expansion. It wasn't just a scientific facility. It was a living demonstration of what could be achieved when different species truly collaborated. The Zarkon never understood. Elena explained to a group of visiting researchers that diversity is not a weakness. It's the most powerful adaptive mechanism in the universe. Her quantum-augmented mind pulled up holographic displays showing the collaborative achievements. Medical technologies that could regenerate entire organ systems. Energy systems that could transform raw planetary matter into usable resources. Communication networks that could translate between any known sentient language in microseconds. Xerox communication membrane pulsed in agreement. What humans brought to the table was not just technological innovation, but a fundamental reimagining of what was possible. The research station was more than a scientific facility. It was a preview of a future where species didn't just coexist, they evolved together. Humanity had been pushed to the brink of extinction. Now, they were rewriting the rules of existence itself. The Nexus station hung like a jewel between star systems, a testament to humanity's most audacious achievement. 50 years after their desperate exodus, humans had transformed from a species on the brink of extinction to the most innovative force in the known galaxy. Captain Area Chen, now more a living network of quantum consciousness than a traditional biological entity, observed the ongoing planetary transformation below. What had once been a barren, radiation-scorched world was becoming a living ecosystem, engineered with a precision that bordered on artistry. Massive terraforming platforms moved like living organisms, reshaping geological structures, seeding atmospheric processors, and creating intricate ecological networks. These weren't just machines, they were extensions of human creativity, each system capable of adaptive problem-solving that made traditional AI look like primitive calculators. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez's great-granddaughter, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, supervised the planetary reconstruction from the primary control hub. Her body was a seamless integration of biological and synthetic systems, representing the pinnacle of human evolutionary potential. Atmospheric composition at 72% optimal levels, she announced. The entire planetary transformation wasn't just a scientific project, it was a living canvas of human imagination. The Zarkon Collective, once humanity's would-be executioners, now watched in a mixture of terror and grudging respect. The species that they had attempted to exterminate had not only survived, but had become something entirely unexpected. Humans didn't just terraform planets, they reimagined them. Each world became a unique expression of possibility. Some planets were transformed into living research facilities, their entire geological structure designed to support scientific exploration. Others became intricate ecological experiments, testing the boundaries of what was possible in planetary design. The Vornal research teams that had first collaborated with humans now worked alongside human architects in a continuous dance of innovation. Their joint projects redefined the very concept of planetary engineering. A massive holographic display showed the current galactic map. Where previous civilizations had claimed star systems through conquest, humans created collaborative networks. Each planetary system became a potential hub of innovation, a place where different species could come together to solve complex challenges. Quantum stabilization complete. Elena's quantum-augmented mind communicated across multiple communication spectrums simultaneously. The planet below continued its transformation. Mountain ranges reshaped, atmospheric composition carefully balanced, complex ecosystems introduced with surgical precision. It wasn't just technology. It was a form of planetary art. The human fleet, now a massive, mobile civilization, moved through the galaxy like a living organism. Each generational ship was a potential seed of civilization, capable of transforming raw planetary matter into habitable environments. Their movement was not conquests, but explorations. Not invasions, but invitations. Nearby, a group of young researchers, a mixed team of humans, Vornal, and 3 other species, worked on their latest project. They were designing a new type of star drive that could potentially connect distant parts of the galaxy through quantum entanglement networks. Humanity's greatest strength was never its technology. Dr. Elena Rodriguez often told her students, it was the ability to see potential where others saw limitations. The Nexus station continued its work. Planets were transformed. Ecosystems were designed. Entire star systems became collaborative research facilities. The universe had tried to break humanity. Humanity had not just survived. It had reimagined existence itself. The Galactic Convergence Chamber was unlike any meeting place in known existence. Suspended in the quantum-stabilized space between star systems, it represented the culmination of humanity's most audacious journey, a testament to how far they had come from those desperate days of near extinction. Captain Arya Chen, now more a distributed consciousness than a traditional being, observed the gathering. Representatives from over 247 sentient species filled the chamber, each brought together by the network of innovation and collaboration that humanity had woven across the cosmos. Where once humans had been on the brink of total annihilation, they were now the architects of a new galactic paradigm. The Zarkon Collective, once humanity's would-be executioners, now sat in a position of diplomatic humility. Their representative, a crystalline entity that had once sought human extinction, now sought human guidance in navigating complex interstellar challenges. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the current lead of human evolutionary research, stepped forward. Her form was a perfect blend of biological potential and quantum consciousness, a living bridge between what humanity had been and what it was becoming. "We are not conquerors," she began, her voice resonating across multiple communication spectrums. "We are collaborators, innovators, potential itself." The story of human survival was no longer just a tale of adaptation. It was a blueprint for cosmic evolution. The quantum consciousness networks that had first emerged on the Phoenix Ascendant had transformed into something far beyond initial predictions. Humanity had discovered that consciousness itself was not limited to biological or synthetic forms. It was a dynamic, adaptive force that could reshape reality. Entire star systems had become living research facilities. Planetary engineering was now an art form that blended ecological design, quantum physics, and pure creativity. Where previous civilizations saw resources to be consumed, humans saw potential to be explored. The human fleet, no longer a collection of ships, but a mobile civilization, continued to move through the galaxy. Each generational vessel was a seed of possibility, capable of transforming raw planetary matter into thriving ecosystems. Their movement was not conquest, but continuous exploration. "Remember," Elena continued, her consciousness interfacing directly with the gathered representatives, "we were once told our extinction was inevitable." A holographic display showed the journey. From the ruins of New Shanghai, through the desperate exodus, the technological breakthroughs, the impossible battles, the collaborative innovations, the Vornal representatives pulsed with bioluminescent agreement. The silicon-based Cretal nodded their crystalline structures. Even the Zarkon representatives' energy field seemed to shimmer with a newfound respect. Humanity had not just survived. They had redefined the very concept of survival. The quantum consciousness interface that Dr. Yuki Nakamura had first developed had evolved into something far beyond initial predictions. Consciousness was no longer bound by traditional understanding. Humans could exist simultaneously across multiple platforms: biological, synthetic, quantum-entangled networks. "We are not a species," Elena's final words rang out. "We are potential itself." Outside the Galactic Convergence Chamber, the universe continued its endless dance. Star systems formed and collapsed. Civilizations rose and fell. But something fundamental had changed. Humanity had arrived. And the cosmos would never be the same.